Hello, I am so excited to be here today, doing the Comedy Festival. Bit of a bucket list moment for me, so I'm so excited to be talking in front of you all. I'm Rory, as Dave was saying. I'm a PhD student from Monash University, and today I want to talk to you about something that could make you very rich. And I'm not talking about selling Victorian-era ankle pics on OnlyFans. I'm talking about something more reliable than that. I'm talking about how you can get gold nuggets. Yes, I know you can get them for $6 at Macca's, but I'm talking about the kind of gold nuggets that can make you filthy rich, not give you diabetes. And in my quest to find nuggets, I'm after three important things. Where the gold is, how much gold there is, and whether or not one day I'll be able to buy my very own outrageously wanky, modern architect's wet dream of a mansion in Toorak. I'm a geologist, and when I tell people that, they like to tell me, rocks are lame. And then I tell them that the very last job I had was to literally look for gold throughout Victoria. And then they say they want to come out with me. This is what my friends look like when we go camping. Having a ball, right? And as fun as gold panning is, you only get little flakes of gold when you go panning. Flakes of gold is not going to buy me my 100-metre long winding driveway to my 10-car garage in Toorak. I'm after big gold nuggets, right? So how do I find them? So I am trying to understand how to find them by actually creating nuggets in my lab, to try and understand how they form, to help us find more of them. And if we have more gold, that's great. We can all be Range Rover driving wankers in the inner southeast suburbs of Melbourne, and we don't even have to give up having smashed apple on toast. And as far as I'm concerned, smashed apple on toast is genuinely the only thing holding us back from savagery. Plus, gold is a key component in electronics. So if you happen to have a smartphone in your pocket or your bag, you actually have a little bit of gold on you. And if you don't have a smartphone in your pocket or your bag, it's definitely not because I've stolen it and I'm going to melt it down for my big nugget. I'm specifically interested in gold in quartz. Oh, that's the wrong way, one second. Specifically interested in gold in quartz. Now, quartz is another mineral. It's the world's most common mineral on our surface here. Any crystal healers in the house tonight?
Me.
Oh, thank God. Honestly, thank God, because if there was, we were going to have beef after the show. And look, to be honest, if you are a crystal healer, you'll be familiar with quartz because it's known as the master healer, apparently able to heal any condition. And to be honest, the idea of chucking a bunch of this at some of those Range Rover driving wankers sounds pretty healing. But honestly, if you believe that quartz is healing, you might as well believe that my smashed avo on toast addiction is what's holding me out of the housing market. So this quartz, which is apparently healing, it forms occasionally in a very particular way, not very often, in such a way that it can collect gold into big, fat gold nuggets, right? Unfortunately though, most quartz does not do this, which leaves me both sad and very, very poor. What I'd love to do now is tell you a little bit about how gold nuggets form so that we can potentially all go out into the world and find gold nuggets. And if I'm lucky, the next time I give this talk, I'll be dressed up something like this. Gold is traditionally extremely rare in the Earth's crust beneath our feet. We're talking on average, there is 1 milligram of gold for every ton of rock. So that means if you just went looking anywhere for it, you have 1 in a billion odds of finding it. So you've got better odds of going down to your local Tatslotto, buying a ticket from old mate Deborah, who's been a lifelong employee of one of the most predatory companies in Australia, hitting it big, winning the jackpot, and walking home with 20 million in cold, hard cash. And that's why gold nuggets are so good, right? Because they represent gold concentrated millions of times above average. Plus, you don't have to spend your entire life savings buying stupid little tickets with numbers that never match the numbers on the screen. Right? So how do these big gold nuggets potentially form? Well, it all starts deep below the surface. 5 kilometers deep, at least. Rocks that contain gold get buried. At a certain depth, they release a fluid and gold. That gold dissolves into the fluid, and then that fluid moves upwards towards the surface through pores or fractures in the rock. Eventually, closer to the surface, heaps of that fluid comes together. And then something happens. That gold that's dissolved isn't happy anymore. Something's changed. It wants out, just like me when I go looking for gold. So it solidifies. But it's not the only thing that solidifies when that happens. You see, that fluid is chock-a-block full of our most common elements in the crust, silicon and oxygen. And if there was any crystal healers in the room, they would know that that's what quartz is made of. So, not just gold is solidifying here, we also have quartz following suit and solidifying too. I like to think of it like a trendsetter friend. You know, like one you might have in Brunswick with a dumb name like Atticus, who swears they only buy their clothes from an op shop, and either looks homeless or like they've just robbed a fashion store. The kind of person who swears they know all of the secret coffee shops in Melbourne, but would never take you to one because I just don't think you'd fit the vibe. And yet for some reason, quartz can't help but follow suit and solidify when gold does. Here's the thing, right? When that happens, all right, gold solidifies, nugs, right? Actually, you see, we're not even talking like one window, one door, shoebox and dandy type nugs. Quartz acts as an airbag, right? Trapping gold in place, stopping it from getting any bigger, stopping it from getting into big, fat nuggets. So how do we get big, fat nuggets then? Well, you know how I said the quartz is made of silicon and oxygen? In silicon and oxygen, the bonding between them is extremely strong. Well, sorry, in quartz, the bonding between silicon and oxygen is extremely strong. Like me, and my toast addiction. And because of that, other elements, like gold, can't fit in the space between silicon and oxygen, right? But we can also have extremely weak bonding between silicon and oxygen. Best heckle I've ever heard. So if we have extremely weak bonding between silicon and oxygen, what I'm kind of talking about is weak bonding, right? Average male emotional intelligence. Like when two guys are trying to open up about their feelings, but they've got no mental capacity left because their head is just full of who won the last 52 footy grand finals. That's the level, right? And with such weak bonding, gold, if the slide wants to change, gold can actually be in the space between the silicon and the oxygen, and it loves it. Okay. When we have such weak bonding between silicon and oxygen, we don't actually call it quartz anymore. We call it amorphous silica instead. It's basically a big mess of silicon and oxygen atoms with no structure at all whatsoever. Really the opposite of quartz, and what I can only assume would be very, very bad for healing. So, when that amorphous silica and the gold solidify, right, the gold's trapped, like Jeffrey Dahmer's basement trapped. Like no way out. No chance of forming big nuggets. Wrong. In fact, what happens is the silicon and oxygen hate being weakly bonded together. They want to be strong, they want to have structure. They spend a little bit of time apart, but they just want to get back together. They want to renew their vows. So they do. In the space of just a few days, the amorphous silica changes to quartz. And when it does this, all of that lovely gold dispersed in the amorphous silica gets rejected by the forming quartz, and the gold concentrates into one big fat gold nugget. Boom! So that's it. We made our gold nugget. Now we just need to figure out how the hell we're going to go find it. All we have to do now, in theory, is start looking for amorphous silica below the surface, right? Here's the catch. You know how I said that amorphous silica changes to quartz in just a few days? So that happened millions of years ago. So now we just have gold nuggets surrounded by quartz. And we currently don't have a way of telling whether or not quartz was formed from amorphous silica or whether or not it was formed directly from a fluid. So stay tuned for that update. In the meantime, we'll just have to be content panning for gold by the riverbank. But isn't that half the fun anyway? I mean, that's how I got into gold, right? This is a picture of me and my dad when I was a kid panning for gold. I reckon I could have been left at Southern Hill for a week, panning for gold, like an 1850s gold miner, slowly dying from malnutrition and dysentery. But really, how much worse is that than the life of a PhD student? Speaking of fun times with my dad, he's here tonight. Shout out to him. He is blind as a bat. Which means you can't actually see the screen at the moment. There's a picture of my uni supervisor instead of my dad. And although poor sight runs in the family, you'd expect with a schnoz this big, I should be able to sniff out gold nuggets anywhere. And yet despite that, even this bad boy, they remain oh so elusive. But best believe, when I do find gold nuggets, I won't tell anyone, but there will be signs.